Mic check. Hey. Welcome to Club Shada episode 251. Yep, we there. 251. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Why do I look like Jesus with my wife's light behind me? What is this doing here, first of all? Oh my God. The other side. Other way around. What are we gonna do? What was I doing? I was about to do something. Oh yeah, take the navigator and put it in the right place, which is here. Perfect. Alrighty, now I can see everything. I hope everybody is doing great. I hope you had a great beginning of the week. Everybody, this show is brought to you by Shada, the gods of good fortune. It is midnight and 47 in Lisbon, Portugal. Everybody, put me in the chat what time it is, where you watching from. Everybody who's watching and not putting like, at least if you're not gonna be on the chat talking, at least put a like. You can hate, but at least put a like, so it helps. Because I understand the haters. They have to do their job. Do your job is all good. But at least put a like to this video. Because I see you. I can see the numbers. I can see you. But I don't see your likes. Shout out to Camille, Carlene, Maya TV, Uzbek, DJ Mario Lopez, Simple J, Hinda, Delphine, etc. Brand new subscribers to the channel. We are already 204,000 subscribers on this channel. It's just going up like crazy. Views of the channel are now 1.7 million per month, which is it's a little bit of Club Shada and a little bit of all the content that is in the channel, vlogs, and also something going on that is just blowing up on TikTok and Instagram, and it's bringing a lot of people to come watch the video on every day on YouTube. And a lot of them subscribe to the channel after realizing that, Kaysha, long time is still active, blah, 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 the internet thing. I want to acknowledge the stream royalty, who is none other for the month of November. It is Sirène des Îles with a donation of 10 Canadian dollars. If you want to be the next stream royalty, or you want to become the stream royalty right now instead of Sirène des Îles, all you need to do is do a donation of $10 or 15 Canadian dollars. Let me tell the people on WhatsApp, on my different WhatsApp groups, that I'm live. So we have VIPs. Who else? Conseil de guerre, yeah. Banda and preview. Boom. Cool. Now they all know. Listen, you never know from a show to another what you're gonna get. Sometimes you're gonna have everybody straight away. Some other times they come during whatever. And some other times people are here, but they're not chatting. It's that's the beauty of doing a live stream. And what you always have to do is never get obsessed with the numbers. You do your show, even if there's one person watching. Once the show is on YouTube and it stays there, if you keep your shows after the lives there, you're gonna have other people that will come and they will watch it, and you build from there. So yeah, it's interesting. I went to I've been doing my checkup, my test. I think I have, from what the nutritionist told me. First of all, I'm going on diet. No more like no more food and no more sugar, because I'm high on blood sugar. Have a lot of blood sugar, and on levels that I need to really be careful. So that's what I'm gonna do. No more candies, and only healthy. No more cocktails. I'm gonna drink water for the next few months. Go back to training seriously. What else am I gonna do? I want to start maybe training boxing to lose a lot of to spend a lot of calories, and really turn around my life a little bit around my three more important things, which are four, I would say. Music, as always, but music is going to be number 4, NFT number 3, Club Shada number 2, and then health number 1, meaning I walk 50 kilometers a month. I'm going to continue doing this, but since the pandemic, I haven't been back to the gym seriously. I'm really going to go back seriously, with proper doing it at exact times. I'm gonna do a planning of my days so that I can really do things and start getting used to it. I want to try boxing because I realized that after getting sick, I never got my breathing back to normal. So, an advice that I was given was that breathing exercises are important. I actually have to start doing them, but also cardio. And I believe that boxing would be amazing cardio. That is something I'm really looking into. For those who were not there Sunday for the last episode, which is nobody, everybody's always here. Only Julie misses us. Only Julie doesn't care about us anymore. Everybody else was here. I believe that you should go watch the 1-hour clip that I put of me talking about my crazy stalking ex. By the way, ever since since the last message of 2 weeks ago, nothing this week, so we're good. Maybe she's out of her, I don't know, bipolar episode, whatever it is, and she's gonna forget me for a few times, hopefully. It seems like she watches, she knows. Maybe she just follows me on Facebook or something. Who knows? I don't know. You know. No, and it's not milky. It's kind of milk. It's plant-based oat and almonds. So some healthy stuff. It's actually cool. I kind of like it. I'm gonna start only drinking that type of stuff to replace everything sugary, juices, etc. That's my new. But I got my Club Shada water, but it's just it's nice to reply to your question. Liar. She got a new face. She forgot about all of us. Damn it. Look at what a new nose do to people. Shit. I'm joking. I was asking myself something. I mean, let me say hi to everybody first. Bruno, have a good night, brother. Juju Zhao, welcome back. New profile picture. Now she's not scared anymore to see her face. Now I want to see the before and after. That's what I'm interested in. I don't know how long it was. Like it was Pinocchio style or was it? Those questions. Hey Marie, what up? How are you? Dahlia MTV. What's good? Like, so you say hi. Dahlia says hi to everybody except me. I mean, you know. Who lost their phone? My God, the excuses you give to people. So I was about to say something and I forgot what I wanted to say. I wanted to talk about something specific and I forgot. So what about you? How was your week? What are your resolutions? I already took my resolution for the end of this year and how I'm going to continue in 2023. Wow. Oh my God. Come on. Listen. I'm telling you one thing. One of these days, I'm going to call one of them and ask them what's wrong. I'm going to invite one of them to the show so we can talk. We can debate about what did I do wrong. Shit. Vraiment, je souffre. People, you're here trying to be a good person and people are here stalking you. So I read to my wife, I translated in Portuguese to my wife the message that was intended to her. She laughed so much. I was like, yeah, well, and yeah, at least it's funny. What are we gonna do? Yes, I remember now what I wanted to talk about. What about, I mean, it's a question that I'm asking myself. There's a reason why in a lot of live streams, people will leave some music for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. That's what I do. I think I leave like more or less 8-9 minutes, because by the time you start your live, people will receive a notification and some people will just stumble on it and some people are waiting for it. But you leave like those 10 minutes because you're waiting for people to come in. But something I always say to myself is that, I mean, there's some live streams that I watch that are very popular. They wait 30 minutes before the live begins. They keep like a song looping and some video looping for 30 minutes and until people arrive. So two options. So usually what I do, you know what I do, I put this, and then I put a song, and then I put the intro like this. I would like to try for the next few episodes, maybe a live stream where I start directly. Maybe like, yeah, just put the logos and just go. Like, not even wait. Like, maybe I put, like, I would do like this, like, wait, like, I don't know, 10 seconds or 5 seconds, and then boom, start the thing. The problem is, usually when you do it, it means that your first 5 minutes is just you alone. Everybody else is not watching. Another opinion that I have, another thing I could try would be to do directly an intro with the logo like this. But what is, oh, okay, this is great now. But with animation. So maybe I can get somebody to do me a nice animation that lasts like 5, 6, 7 minutes, because I see that sometimes when the live begins, and maybe not on YouTube, but when I start my live on Facebook, a lot of times I'm gonna have like YouTube. You start, when you start your live, usually it's like there's 0 people, and then it goes up. Facebook, a lot of people receive notifications, and so you're gonna have like 40, 50 people watching, but during the intro it goes down because people are not, they don't wait, they don't have the patience to wait. So yeah, I'll try different things and see what sticks. I mean, I like this the way it is now, but I would like to have something animated while the music is playing during the intro. And maybe instead of putting the black screen plus the intro, I would just do just a countdown of 8 minutes or 10 minutes, and just start it and let the animation goes, and the countdown being embedded in the animation with just the Club Shada logo and the sushi logo. I don't know. I don't know. It's just thinking out loud. It would be a great idea, but how do I say? Do I say like talking to my crazy ex, or maybe I get one that is not too crazy, or maybe one that did crazy stuff back then, but now she's, like maybe one when it happened, she was in her 20s, and now she's in her 40s, and she's just like, oh my God, like, can't believe I did that because of you. Oh, I was young, and we can laugh about it. Because a crazy one, she would have no reason to come here and accept that she's crazy, because that's evidence. And they always believe that they have good reasons. That's the problem. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Malcolm Beast, good night. How are you, brother? Now, usually it's 8 minutes that I do. I have usually 3 minutes with the black screen like this, and then I have 5 minutes countdown like this. What I want to try is maybe just the logo or an animation with just, and here instead of 5 minutes, it would be like 8 minutes. 8 minutes, and then I just have one long intro. But I don't know. For real, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool to have something animated, I believe. A kind of a video intro. I'm gonna think about it. Like, like something that really goes like yeah, Sushi World presents, and then a whole animation with a Club Shada. You see what I mean? Just because most people actually they arrive to the show after 20-25 minutes. Some people arrive like after 2 hours. You know, something I also want to do. Sorry, my voice has been. One thing I'm also thinking about doing is doing a live stream for like 10 hours and see how long people stay, or if at a point nobody's there, or if like the people just. So I don't know, maybe for episode 300 I'll try that, or maybe if I have something special going on, I don't know. Tatiana, how are you? What's good, Tada? How you go? How is going, bro? Yeah, you know, something nice, like something fancy. I want like a nice animated something, like, yeah. You want me to invite the girl that is married and doesn't want people to know she's been with you? But I have a ton of them. Those one would not come to the show. Even if I call them now and say, hey, would you come to my live stream and talk about what we had? They would be like, we had nothing. Yo, some of them, like, I'm like, why? Do I stink? Like, and yeah, somehow when they talk to me, they're proud of what we had. Even some of those that are single, but it's just that they don't want to be associated with the groupies, which makes no sense, because I always considered them, I always treated them like, you know, like real people, but I don't know. I even wrote songs for some of them. And yeah, they pretend that I never existed. Can you imagine that? Somebody that pretends that nothing happened with you. The hell? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Listen, I'm suffering. Like, because those people would follow you, would do stuff with you inside of cinemas. And then they pretend that they never had something with you. Well, and you don't imagine those who are famous. Some of them are super famous now. Actresses, singers, politicians. And yeah. No, yeah, he's my brother. And they all comment my posts. Oh, my brother, you were so amazing. And I'm like, yo. No, it hurts. It hurts. Listen. Yeah, me too. Listen, I respect it. It's just that, so I had a conversation with one of them, actually, 2 weeks ago when I was in Paris. And I was like, so she was talking about a specific song that I have called Deeper. And she was like, did you really write that song about me? And I'm like, why are you asking me after like 15 years or even more, 17 years? And she's like, no, but I was like, listen, we were together. We just done banging. And after that, I received the song from Nelson on my email. And he was like, hey, I need your verse. So I was like, I told her specifically, hey, can you record me? Because back then I was not recording this way. I had because the computer was noisy back in the days, so I would have a microphone further away. So I asked her, hey, I'm going to be near the kitchen counter. Can you record me? You just need to press this key and just record me. And I did my rap. And She was like, "Oh, what you gonna write about?" I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna write about what we just did." So, and when we were talking, so she has a son. He's 15, and she was like, "I'm not even gonna tell. Like my son doesn't even know that, like we friends." And last time I was hearing him like listening to your songs, and I was like, "Oh, nice. Like, does he remember me?" Because I remember him when he was like 4 years old. We would go eat sometimes with him. And she was like, "Nah, I don't think he remembers. Like, it was too small. It was like 3 years old." But, and I was like, if only some of these sons knew. Because look, once you arrive to 48, like me, it means that your first flings, if it was like in your 20s, like let's count till 20. So that's 28 years, right? It means that some of these girls have, if they had kids back then when they were 20, those kids today are 28, 29, 30 maybe. And some that had, I don't know, even some those that had kids like 10 years later, those kids are 18 now. So all these kids, what? You're like, yo, I mean, yeah, well, hey, your mom is a grandma now, but back in the days. Anyway, well, it's life. It's life. Like, what are we gonna do? These type of situation breeds great music. Yeah, listen, music is reflection of life. I do agree. Now you're not old. You're 48 years young, and look at how good we look. It's a good 48. The only thing is we don't see nothing close now. But hey, glasses. You went out with somebody's mom. Listen. Yep. Not even went out. Sometimes the dirty things with people now, they look at their mom like, "Oh, mom," like, we look at your mom like, and then, "Oh, this is Uncle K." It's just like, yo, oh my God, it is what it is. This is life. This is life. We all been young, and yeah, listen, what are we gonna do? Imagine all these guys that are, imagine all these guys that are, or these girls that are in there, that are 10 or 5 now. In 10 years or 15 years, all their dads would have been boyfriends of Julie. And maybe there's video, because I'm sure she records everything. I'm sure she has like a stash of videos or a hidden camera somewhere. And she has like all these Congolese guys like on cam. Or maybe they know. Maybe they are filming. Julie, tell the truth. KK was goody. How are you, brother? Yeah. Anyway, what are we gonna do? All right. Let's talk serious stuff. I wanted to talk about it when it happened, but I ended up just not having not having the time because of the web summit, because of everything that happened. Oh my God. I've seen one of those. Yeah, she records everything, trust me. Yo. So the guys you make movies with, right? There's the guys you make movies with amateur, like just for personal, right? And then there's the one that you make professional movies with, and the one you make movies for your OnlyFans or your meme or your different pages. Some of them must have kids, right? 5 years old, 10 years old. So imagine in 10 years, 15 years, all these guys, like, they don't know, but so imagine, I don't know, somebody hacks your server and all your videos come out, and all of a sudden a bunch of people see their husbands and fathers banging you. Yo. Oh shit. Yo. Oh my God. So you save them to remember? Oh Lord. Well, what are we gonna do? Yeah. I mean, I used to have my folder too. I used to have all my photos and videos, but you know, you get married, you're like, okay, buy years of content. You never know. It's time to erase everything. Anyway, sorry. Let me talk to you about serious stuff. I would love to have your opinion on this. As I was saying before, I wanted to talk about it when it was like off the press, when it happened, when the murder of Takeoff from the group Migos happened, because it really made me think about what I want to talk today. You know, you hear and you see all these, especially in the last 5-10 years, right? You see all these rappers, and it's usually the rappers, because you don't see this with the country. I mean, unless I don't watch their news, but the pop singers, the R&B singers, the house music people, you don't see what you see in hip hop. In hip hop, you really have this hecatombe of rappers being murdered one by one. And it made me really think about the whole narrative and the whole all these people who are telling you that you know, all these people who are living by the slogan. And there's a lot of slogans. You got BLM, Black Lives Matters. You got Black Excellence. You got people calling themselves king, people calling themselves king, queen. All these stuff. You get like, you're gonna have all these people marching for the lives of black people in the US. And at the same time, the same people who are talking about systemic racism and everything, all odds against them, etc., are killing each other all the time. And they don't have no respect for the lives of their own kind, their own brothers. And whenever you call them out on that, they have millions of excuses. Oh, it's because this. Oh, it's because we need to get. Oh, it's because we don't. And my fear with the way the American culture is that from my small 48 years on this planet, I've realized that a lot of times it starts there, and then it trickles down to France, and then the rest of Europe, because of the sadly hegemonic American culture that is everywhere, through their movies, through everywhere, through the fact that they control media and etc. And the violence is so much glorified in hip hop that I remember when I started rapping when I was 15, 16. When I started rapping, I was in school. I was with I was with in school with a bunch of mostly white kids. Some of us were into music, and most of us were kids of wealthy parents. And it's only around 17, 18 that I really started, going to the parties and then mingling with the hip hop crowd in Paris. And most of the people from the hip hop crowd, not all of them, but most of them were from the suburbs. So it was us coming from the good neighborhoods, going to mingle with people around the same interest, which was the Zulu culture, the b-boy culture, hip-hop, music, rap, graffiti, beat making. We were all passionate about it. And very early, I started having people telling me that, once they started understanding that I lived in a nice neighborhood, like when I was saying, I live there, because in the beginning, I had no idea that it was a scene to have money. I didn't have money. My parents had money. But so early, I was just completely candid about it, naive even. Yeah, where you live? Oh, I live there. Oh, what you doing with? Why you live with the rich people? I was like, I don't know. I didn't choose. Is your mom works in one of those apartments? I was like, no, my mom owns one of those apartments. And then early, people started hating. People started like looking at me like, you're not real. We keep it real. Like, we from the ghetto. Like, what are you doing in hip hop? What do you know about the streets? What? I was like, I love the music. And it's so interesting when you go to the fundamentals of what hip hop is, of course. The voice of the streets, the voice of the disadvantaged, etc., etc. Yeah, that was like 40 years ago, or 20 years ago. I don't know. In the end of the 70s, early 80s. Like, since then, it just became a multi-billion-dollar business that everybody does. And personally, I'm an advocate that, listen, if you want to do polka tomorrow, you don't need to be Russian. That's my opinion. Urban Sweet Spot, what up? How are you? I believe that if you want to do compa, you don't need to be Haitian. I believe that if you want to do Congolese music, you can be Japanese. Personally, I don't care. Some people, they care. I'm speaking for me. I don't care. I believe that if you want to keep culture alive, you have to share it. And if you want your culture to stay around long enough, you have to understand that at a point you're going to share it to other people, because music, in the contrary to humans, music has no passport. Music just go from one region to another, will influence other people and inspire other people. So you might do a song and you don't know who you're inspiring. You just put your song in, it's out there. Once it's out there, maybe whatever you did might be the birth of something new, a new style. I personally birthed a lot of subgenres that became their own styles. And I never told people, I follow this and these are the rules and only those people can do it and whatever, because I understood that even if, like Urban Sweet Spot says, you have to respect the origin, of course, but even the origin itself is never completely what we think, because once you start going to the base of something, you realize that it doesn't come from maybe what you think, because you're going to be like, yeah, it came from that person. But then when you ask that person, hey, okay, where it came from, it never comes from just like, oh, I was there and God spoke to me. No, I was listening to this, I came from that culture. So then you continue going and you realize that the origins can be clear, but they can also be multiple. They can also, so it's the same as when I have a conversation with the people of the Zouk or the Kizomba or Komba. When do we stop the origins? Do we stop at in the 80s when those genres were popular, or do we continue a little bit to when the slave arrived in the different islands and created and brought the different genres from where they came from, or do we continue? So because as long as you continue, you're gonna have the roots of the origins. And so how do you define the origin? Is it a specific date when, like, the name of a subgenre that becomes a genre is born? Is hip hop like New York, Kool Herc, Master of Ceremony in the park performing and two turntables of some disco songs or some funk songs? But then if it's on some funk songs, do the origin also take account the funk? Do the origins take account the fact that actually the first one was from Jamaican origins, meaning that maybe all these came from dancehall, etc., etc. Just like reggaeton, for example. When you take reggaeton, for example, a lot of people, when they say reggaeton, they will say Puerto Rico. They will say Daddy Yankee. They will say all the legends of reggaeton. But if you continue digging a little bit and you go back in time, you will realize that from the origins of reggaeton, you first have what we call the dembow. And even if dembow was popular and became popular in Puerto Rico, it's actually the Panamanians that brought it to Puerto Rico. And the Panamanians, it all started from a Spanish version of the song Dembow by Shada. So it goes back to Jamaica. So, and that's why it's called reggaeton. So are the origins of reggaeton and the owners of the genre, the Puerto Ricans or their fathers from. So to me, I believe that everybody can do anything and yeah, I'm a person that I love to know what I'm doing, and I love to dig to the origins of stuff, but I also understand that most people don't care. Most people don't care, especially as long as a genre evolves into its different iterations, because like the hip hop that I grew on has nothing to do with the hip hop of today. I mean, the rap of today. It used to be sample. Now it's a lot of 3D loops, trap beats, and I don't have a problem with it. I just say that it's different. And so I mean, all this to say that back in the days, because I'm diverging, but back in the days, the people had all these people who had nothing to do with the origins of rap. They were all French, born in France, most of them, or just arrived like me, sons of immigrants who arrived from Africa, not by force, and just came to Paris with their kids, or had their kids in Paris to work or to find a better life or to find a different life. And another part were people coming from the West Indies who, yes, were descendants of slave of the French colonial empire. So none of those people had nothing to do with rap. But still, they were like keeping it real. Oh, rap is this. Rap is supposed to be from the streets. Rap is supposed to be like that. Rap is supposed to be in French. And I was looking at them. I was like, what you mean it's supposed to be in France? Ah, we in France. I was like, I don't care where we are. I discovered rap with Public Enemy and Beastie Boys. That's the first two cassettes that I bought. Beastie Boys and Public Enemy. It Takes a Nation, It Takes a Nation and License to Ill. And then LL and etc. And everything that I've been hearing when it comes to rap was in English. So when I start rapping, to me, because I speak, from when I was 11 or 12, I was speaking fluent English. I start writing my raps and making beats, copying New York hip hop, because to me, that was the Mecca. But those people, because they were in France and they wanted to be territorial and make everything their own, they were hating because I was rapping in English. And they was like, yeah, we have to keep it street. And I was like, listen, to me, at a point, so there's something I always felt forever about music. To me, when to me, art is art. So if you want to do anything that inspires you, go ahead. That's how I feel. And if anybody tells you that you can't, who cares? As long as you find somebody who's willing to listen to what you're doing, it's okay. I've performed hip hop shows in the 90s in front of the ghettoest people, like people that everybody was scared of. What up, Mountain? People that everybody was scared of because you knew they beat up people. And with my team, we've performed in front of people that were happy to see us, right? What up, MJ? But those 4 or 5 guys that everybody was scared of, they were in front of the stage while we were performing, and in the back you could hear everybody cheering for us. But a lot of people too were scared because those people were in front and they were like, what you know about the street? What you know about hip hop? And the whole show, and we had to do the show, continue our show, and then once we came out, we were walking to the subway. Those people were following us by car and threatening us. Like, yeah, what you know about the street, huh? You want us to show you street? Da 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 da. And we were just kids minding our business, trying to do our show, trying to express ourselves using art. And those people were like, this is our art, not for you rich kids. And it's funny because most of these guys are in their 50s now. And most of these guys came to my shows with their children. That when their daughters were 15, 16, 18, they came to ask for autographs for their kids. And when we had conversations, I was like, so why did you hate me like back in the days? Oh, you were not from the street, da 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 da. We were trying to make it, and like we were pissed that you got money, da da da. I was like, it was not me, it was my parents. Yeah, but you went to the good schools and da da da. You come to our turf to perform, and I was like, guys, you guys have money now, right? Yes, we do. So did you put your kids in the ghetto in school, or did you put them in private school like where I was? And now we put them in private schools. Where would we put them in the ghetto? I was like, so you understand that the kids from the ghetto can hate your kids? And then they were like, nah, because we come from the ghetto. And our kids, yeah, they're respected because whatever. And I was like, yeah, but my father came from walking barefoot in Africa, having nothing, to just climbing up. It's just one generation before yours. So what's the difference? And they were like, yeah, we never seen it like that. But then back in the days, we wanted to stab you hard. I was like, yo. And to me, it is I'm not gonna say happy birthday yet, but the little queen, much love. So and I'd love to have your opinion about this. To me, when I saw all these rappers just being slain one by one, I asked myself questions about the whole hip-hop culture in general, but then even black culture in North America in general. Why do people want to make a little bit of money? Like when you make 10% or 20% or 30% on, or 50-50 from sales, right, of your records. Let's say you make $500,000, which is a lot of money. Most people make that in a whole life. Why spend it on expensive chains when it's not like you're a billionaire? But why spend all that on chains, jewelry that is enriching people that are not even your culture? Why you always want to send your money to, and why you want to dress in Balenciaga? That's not an African name. Like, why everybody is talking about the culture, this, the culture that, us, black excellent, etc. But they're all dressed in Gucci. Those are LVMH. The money goes to France. And I told you 1,000 times about, I love Black Panther. I'm going to see the next one again, etc. Like everybody, I'll be there, Wakanda forever. But I don't forget that the money is not going to the black community. I understand it's entertainment. It's great because The director has a lot of respect for the culture, and he's trying to romanticize a country that doesn't exist anyway. But this, when you watch the movie, you love the imagery and the way they depict a rich Africa. So can only love it. But in the end, I'm like I always said, if that movie was made in Congo with Congolese actors, and it was the same actors, but they were all Congolese, and it was the same movie, looking exactly the same, with the same budget, everything, a lot of people wouldn't have gone see it because it's an African movie. They would be like, eh. And it's like, so why spend all this money on jewelry? Why only glorify violence in all these videos with people with guns and etc.? And why and rest in peace take off, but because this must be horrible for his uncle and his two uncles. But why, having made it, have all these money and go play dice in the ghetto? And why nobody wants to ask those questions? Because it feels like we love to be the victims. We love to complain about everything, but we never want to look at our own flaws dead in the eye. We only love to, complain about this and that. Oh, Kanye is right. Oh, that, the media, this, that. Oh, the record companies are screwing us, etc. But whenever somebody does an independent record company to put the money back in society or something, he either gets killed by his own, or like a lot of them, all of these artists are not killed by the corporate media, the white cops, or not all these rappers have been killed by their own people. And listen, I mean, you have the American culture is so, to me, they're thinking backwards. I see a lot of there's some rappers that I've followed before, and I loved the style, I loved the music, I love everything, but they were not popping. And then at a point, after a few years, I follow some of them. I follow them on YouTube. I was watching their vlogs, but at a point, they get signed, and all of a sudden they have to look like strippers. Like, they go to the BBL, they have huge booties all of a sudden, and they all dress naked on stage, and everybody think it's normal. And then I go look at the Taylor Swift, the pop artists, and everybody else, and everybody's just respecting themselves. Only the Black Americans are in this strange culture of, decadence. I don't know how you pronounce it in English, but, and to me, I'm like, and rest in peace. I'm like, are you gonna ask yourself the right questions one day? Because me, all I'm asking myself is those questions. Like, what is wrong with this culture of faking it till you make it? Cars, drugs. Like, do you understand that the heroes of this culture are people that have 12 kids with 12 different women? Listen, even the ones that are clean and the Nick Cannons, like they still have like 10 kids with 10 different models. And people are, oh no, but maybe it's because, no. I don't see how, it doesn't compute to me. Listen, I come from Africa. I was born in Africa, but I grew up in France. So my culture is more, French, Judeo-Christian culture. Because that's where I was raised. I'm a Buddhist. But if I told my mom, listen, just the fact that I have 2 kids, I only have 2, with 2 different women, my parents are already looking at me like, yeah, you're not like your cousin Joel. He has, all his kids with the same wife, Dahlia. Like, And that's how we raised you. And then you have all these people who are like heroes. And all these singers, rappers are, let me look at your comments, because listen, and what the check-in culture, listen, everything about this culture is backwards. You supposed to, okay, listen, explain to you my dad's life story. Born in Africa, poor, 12 brothers, half of them died. Go, move the ladder of society, study, etc. University, boom, wars, start going up, politics, up, make it, becomes rich, buy lands, buy houses, buy this, buy that. Another war, exile, take his kids, France, put them in prestigious university to have kids like me. And then hopefully these kids will take their kids and start from here and move this way. In the US, they come from the ghetto, and okay, you're in the ghetto, so you get the ghetto culture, etc. But your goal is to leave the ghetto, right? Once you left the ghetto, you take the ghetto with you, buy those chains, want to prove though about the chains, continue to be part of a gang, go with the gang somewhere, etc. At a point, you go to another city, and then instead of hiring cops, that's their job, private security, like people who will take care of you. No, you go with a bunch of gangsters who are armed, and you go play dice and argue with whoever, and then you guys like are not able to just say, hey, chill, and everybody just, and then so you did all that, left poverty, change the course of your bloodline, like my father did. My father changed the course of his bloodline. He could put his kids to the university. He could help his brothers and sisters, kids, his mothers, his aunties. My mom could help. They helped a lot of people. They could listen when my mother bought the 300 hectares of land in Congo. The drivers that work for us for the last 40 years, they all got plots of land in their name. They all had their own land. Yeah, you can do what you want with in there. My mom gave the possibility to these people that I know since I'm a kid. They were working for my parents when I was a kid, and then they were driving me, then they were driving my son. And they all bought them some land so that they can also start cultivating some cassava, cultivating pondu, and maybe also change their bloodline's legacy. And you go to the ghetto and get killed as a multimillionaire at 28? Is this bad luck? Is this... And I mean, I'm looking at it from outside. And from outside, it looks... I mean, when I see and nobody's perfect, when I see a Jay-Z that is arriving to billionaire status and on the way making his core team billionaires as well, but also taking a lot of people out of the hood and making them millionaires, and trying to just create this empire and buying art and thinking about the legacy and the thing he's going to leave to his kids and working this way. Look at him when Kanye went on his rant. He was silent. Whenever he goes, he's always silent. It's like, and it's not because he's trying to please other people. It's just that he's like, that's not how we're gonna make it. And you know, let me take it down to my small level. So when I was signing Zouk artists and Kizomba artists and African Coupé Décalé artists on my label, back in 2003, 2004, 2005. The first thing I told every artist was, that was not this camera, but the ancestor of this camera was the GH1. I told every artist, buy a GH1. With this camera, you can shoot your own music videos. Whenever you have a show in the West Indies or in Africa and you find a nice beach and you meet a nice boy in the club, or a nice girl, and you give them from your cachet. If you take $1,000 to go perform, take $50, give them $50 from your cachet and shoot a video. Bring me the video, I'll put it on YouTube, or I'll make a YouTube channel for you and I'll show you how to monetize that. Buy yourself a microphone. This costs $200, and this is a digital version of the microphone that was used to record the album Thriller from Michael Jackson. So you're not gonna tell me that if you do 10 shows at $1,000, so you make 10,000, you cannot invest 1,000 in the camera and 200 in the microphone and maybe 200 on a Logic and then a computer at a point. Everybody had a laptop already, and start thinking of the future. When everybody was in their 20s, early 20s, 19, 20, 21. I was telling them, when you're gonna be 40, when we all are gonna be 40, we're gonna be replaced by the next generation. So we have to start working today so that when we are replaced, we don't need to work. Money's coming from the sky. And all of them were looking at me, were telling me, yeah, he's great. And then we go to the West Indies and we start building the label. And then some new artists came, and there was this particular artist who only made 1 or 2 hits, but had that guru image and was about driving his nice car, having nice jackets, etc., wearing the chains, etc. And even in the song, they would like, yeah, we wearing this and and telling everybody, yeah, we rich, yeah, and talking about me like, these old guys, like, and back then I was like, I don't know, 30 something, but apparently I was old already. Yeah, this old guy, he doesn't know shit. We this, we that, we are the future. And all the artists, they were more attracted by what he was saying than what I was saying. And all of the people who follow that guy are poor today. But all of them, they would rather, in our small level, do 5 shows and be able to buy a Gucci or a Chanel bag at 5,000. So they are able to front in front of the other poor people who also had a bag, because that's all they could afford, and everybody was eating rocks. And I was looking at them, and at that time, I was living in a small studio. Even if I was generating every year 300, 400, 500,000 euros of CD sales, but I was like investing all my money in buying my old masters, buying cameras. I have like 10 cameras, buying studio equipment, buying everything that I'm using today to do this show. And everybody was looking at me like, he wants to shoot this video by himself. And he's been wearing the same jewelry for the last 25 years. He's poor. And I was like, what you mean I'm poor? My parents are rich. But what I learned is the next level. And all the Zouk artists, they all went one way, which was trying to impress other artists and listening to other artists about what is success, when they realized for them success was, proving to other poor people that they were richer than them. And me, I was like, until you become like me, independent, all the money is not going to you. Even if you think you're making a lot of money because you made 50,000 this year, you generated 500,000. From your 50,000 album sales, you generated 500,000. You're only going to get 10% from it, plus all your shows. Yeah, you're famous. Yeah, you fucking every night. Yeah, you have groupies. Yeah. But as soon as the shows stop, it's over. And listen, you had subprime crisis 2007, destroy the market. Then you had the France terrorism, destroy the market even more because people were scared to go to the clubs. And then after that, you had the pandemic, finished the whole market, and everybody stopped performing for 2 years. And for 2 years, they had no revenue because nobody had anything that they owned. So the money was going to the people who own stuff, us. And them, they own nothing. They didn't have YouTube channels. Look for every artist that was signed to me. All their videos are on my channel and generating money for me. Why are they on my channel? Because when I told them, make your channel, I'm going to shoot videos for you and we're going to put them on your channel, they all said no. We don't care about that YouTube thing. Because it was new at that time. YouTube started in 2005 and we started in 2003, the label. But I realized that, damn, all these people, they only care about showing off. They only care about showing people that they hate, that they are better than them. Listen, the people who hate me, I don't care what they think. I don't even care if they think I'm rich, if they think I'm poor. I don't care what they do. But whether in our small ecosystem or in the huge US ecosystem, I see the same thing. I see that what has been glorified is everything that is idiotic to me. Listen, I've been wearing this chain. We can go far in my photos. You will see these chains. These, I think I have photos If I go to my photos and I type 1998, I don't know if I have photos from 1998 here. Maybe not. Let's try 2000. Okay, no, 2000, no. Maybe if I type 2003, maybe when I started my album. Okay, look. This is me when, let me find a good picture. See all. So 2003 is when my son was born. So that's almost 20 years ago now. So this is, let me find a good picture. Find a photo. Oh, you will not imagine what I found. Dalia. I just ended up on a picture of the Crazy Ex that we talked about last week. Anyway, okay, wait, let me find a good photo. Okay, this is a photo from me in 2003 eating corn. I never remove these. So I've been wearing the same jewelry. It's not even some, I mean, they're a little bit of, I mean, it's just steel or whatever it is. I don't even know how you call this in English, but same chain, same thing. And they mean something to me, but I mean, if I had 10 million in the bank, maybe I would buy something expensive for my wife, maybe like one of those, a $2,000 bracelet, and even, yeah, maybe a bag, some stuff like that. Every time I make some crypto money, yeah, I buy her a bag or I buy something because, yeah. But for me, listen, I'd rather invest in a house, in equipment, in whatever, in a house. Like, I would, listen, if I have 10 million in the bank, before I buy myself anything crazy, I would buy houses for my brothers and sisters. Make sure that all my nieces and nephews have their education sorted. Because that's the future. But all these people in America or in the West Indies or in France or in Africa, most of them, they just want to impress people they don't know. They're all here, like, they want to say something, they want to beef on online, they want to beef on Instagram live. They're like, so when are you guys building? And then you guys are complaining about so I was on the Web Summit and we met the CEO of a big record company. Actually, also a friend of mine met the CEO of Empire. And so I think 5 big artists that were on that label died. And the guy said that every time he has a contract with somebody, he also take a life insurance. Because he knows that these people, because they're not living the ghetto, he signed them. They do a 50-50 deal, I guess. And then he takes a life insurance for in part of his contract. He takes a life insurance because he's investing in a product that he knows might not last long. So when these guys die, he makes tens of millions of dollars. And you look at him like, that's a little cynical now. And he's like, no, I'm investing my money. You know, like all these people, and they tell you, I think he comes from Palestine. And the guy was telling my friend, like, hey, listen, I know what suffering is. And I understand that it's a business and you invest your money, but those people, once they arrive to a certain point, you see them with their glasses of strange syrups and the drugs, baby moms, crazy girlfriends, and a lot of strange people around you. And then, you get caught up in the beefs of the people that are with you that maybe you grew up with, but that didn't go out of that life. And I mean, at a point you have to understand that you have to move on from stuff. And if you want to take your people with you, you have to teach them that we're moving on from something. You have to move on from all your problems. This is why something I always tell people when we talk about business is look at people in your agenda and look everybody that is useless and remove them from your agenda and remove them from your daily conversation, because they will not take you anywhere. They will just grab you down with them. And it's crazy to me that it happens at that level. And yeah, I mean, listen, it's sad situations, because you see a whole generation of artists that all my legends, except, rest in peace, Guru, B.I.G., Tupac, but a lot of my legends, they are still here. Pete Rock, CL Smooth, Naughty by Nature, Third Base, like Group Home, Premier, Nas, Didi, all these people, they're still here. And they are showing you the way. They are, But this generation, the internet generation, a lot of these, like from XXX Tentacion to the Migos, they all like, a lot of them are gone. They do a hit, they change that, and then they're gone. And most of the time it's for nothing. And most of the time it's because of the same people that are yelling that Black Lives Matters. So matters to who? I don't know. Let me stop ranting and look at your comments. Where were we? All right. Sorry, I was not. You know me. When I start ranting, I see the comments going through, but all right. Last time it was a crazy ex. Today is almost getting stabbed, bro. Keysha, ton album Café Chic Bossa Nova me fait trop voyager. I love it. Thank you so much, Nantenine. You're absolutely right. A lot of people wouldn't have gone to see Wakanda Forever if the cast was purely African. Yeah. And like, Americans don't even realize, the Black Americans don't even realize that even in a lot of them are suffering and a lot of them are victims, but in their whole victimization, they don't even realize that they are so much more well off than some people in Africa. But just by being in America. La Milliardaire, what up? Back in the days, there was a variety of rappers. That's true. We've only started seeing fairly big Hollywood stars that are African in the last few years, like Roger Jean Page from Zimbabwe, Lupita from Kenya, Tuzo Mbedu from SA, etc. So maybe soon an African blockbuster. Yeah, maybe. We also have to learn to make movies like, what is missing in Africa? And I'm not talking about country wise, but like continental wise, we're just missing the whole distribution network. So we all dream in Africa. It's another subject that we're gonna keep for maybe when I invite somebody from the the movie industry in Africa, but it's the same for the music industry. We are missing the distribution network. It doesn't exist. So you're gonna make movies in Africa with the hope that it's gonna work in France or in Portugal or in Europe or in the US. When you have 1 billion Africans, and if you had from Morocco, Algeria, down to Swaziland, that's 1 billion people that a lot of them don't have are bankless, they don't have bank accounts, they don't have credit cards, they don't have ways to be part of the ecosystem. So I believe the next leaders of Africa, if they come with this in mind, like, let's create our own market and let's stop dreaming of out there. You're a great actor, you don't need to dream to go to Hollywood. You can stay here and be between Nollywood and Congolywood and Zimlewood and Cameroonlywood and etc. etc. Because we also have the talent, we have actors, we have everything, but there's no distribution network. There's no YouTube. There's not even possibility to make 1 million views. And when I make 1 million views, I make $3,000. You make 1 million views in Congo, you make 0 because there's no ads. Google doesn't have the ad distribution for people to buy ads and be displayed in Africa. So that's the problem with the whole thing. So all of them, when you have some talent, you go to America. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. What's my problem with people? I don't. I have a lot of big booty friends, like you. They're not heroes to everybody. Indeed. Of course, I know that. Africa is very conservative culturally in general. Yes. Lola. Wow, this is the first time I've listened to your channel. This is a deep conversation. Thank you. A lot of people aren't going to get some of these. That's true. That's the beauty of it. I think the problem you find with the rise of the ghetto is twofold. The guilt of leaving everyone behind and being called fake, and the ignorance of trying to show to the hood you made it. Yeah. And it's the same everywhere. Because when you are underground and you are becoming hot, everybody's rooting for you. And soon as you blow up, they have a word like sell out. And Quand ta culture est différente, tu te poses ces questions parce que tu comprends que ce n'est pas comme ça qu'il faut se comporter. That's true. Très très vrai. Yep. Je suis d'accord. Not all of them are millionaires. Exactly. Because they will all sign so they can have a great video, they can have an advance, and they will buy stupid stuff because they are not educated. And the reason they're not educated is a little bit, some of them is because of their parents or the lack of, some of them is just because the system where they are educated is not educating them in this way. I can say that the fact that when I was 17, I went to the economic faculty, it changed the way I process things. So when I see money coming, or when somebody tells me, yeah, I'm going to give you 500,000 to buy your whole catalog, I look at them like, so if you want to buy it for 500,000, you're going to generate that money. So once a few years passed, if I use that money in 2-3 years, what do I do in 5 years? But most people will be, 500 now? I'm taking it. Where me, I'll be like, there's a number where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna count. Okay, how much money my catalog generates per year. So if you tell me a million, I'm gonna look at my numbers. I'm gonna be like, I can make that million in 10 years. So no, I'd rather keep my catalog and make my million slowly. And now if you tell me 2 millions, I'm gonna start thinking. I'm gonna be like, oh, if I'm 48, by the time I made my 2 million, I'm 68. If you look at the numbers, if in an idea, let's say that your catalog makes 100K a year. So then you can start thinking. You can be like, Now, if somebody tells you, I'm gonna give you 3 million for your whole catalog, now you can start thinking. You can be like, wait a minute. It would take me, at the pace of now, it would take me 30 years. So I would be 78 to make those 3 millions. With my small catalog, then you're like, listen, with 1 million or 800,000, I buy myself a place. Then I take the 2 million that are left. I already did this calculation the other time, but I take the 2 million that are left. I put them in a very safe investment. So 2 million at 5%. So 2 million divided by 100, multiplied by 5. That's 100,000 that you make every year. And you live the same life, but you bought your place and you have a nice big place. And then, maybe you can start investing that money you make in the next thing. But a lot of them, because they're all faking it, a lot of them are faking it with the label's money. They end up having to fake more so that the label is happy. And if the public is as ignorant as the artist, and the public is loving all these videos with prop guns and this crazy culture, the public will say, you have to do that too. So everybody go do your BBLs and take your guns and all talk about the drugs, because this is what works. And then you have the conscious rappers. They're gonna be in a niche. Many rappers can't let the hood because of those two factors. I've been on Indeed. Your mentality will always be different because you were born with that, with what many strive to get. Yes, but at the same time, my father was not born with that. But when he arrived to a certain level, my mom told me that his only obsession was, I don't want my kids to walk barefoot like me when I was 10. I want them to have the best in life, but I also want them to, I want them like to, when they was in exile and it was the war and they lost everything, they start selling houses just for us to be able to continue to study. And then when 10 years went by and they went back and things got reversed, they got their lands back and they started building back. And we were already adults. You were thinking of that sacrifice that they did. They would rather, instead of telling us, hey, let's go live in another place or something. No, they were like, no, we're going to sell that house. So with that money, we can survive 10 years and we can pay for the studies of everybody, all 8 kids. That's a way to think that I believe is very African. And it seems like in the American culture that is also very individualist. A lot of people don't have that mentality of we have to build not only for us but for the next generation. A lot of people talk about it, and listen, I'm not saying that everybody is a bunch of idiots in America. There's a lot of, for all these bad stories, there's also a lot of good stories of people. But what we are presented here, when we see everything that is happening in the black entertainment, is people showing their ass in the basketball court and thinking that it's amazing, and everybody, and then one part celebrating amazing inclusion, and other being like, what the hell is this, and everybody insulting them, and you look at it from here and you're like, okay, all right, it's interesting. Or you have Kanye, like, look, top of the top of the top, and not able to express something intelligently and not just emotionally, not able to control himself. And it's not new. From the you don't have all the answers sway, and just not being able to control his emotion when he's challenged, to today, he's the same guy. And back then I was like, this guy, like, can't you calm down and listen to when people say, no, ego and emotions. I see America today as a land full of people that are just way too empathic. We say empath or whatever. It's just emotions. Emotions are way more important than logic in America. That's what I see today. And I look at this and I'm like, you guys had it all wrong. Like, at a point, reality is gonna slap the fuck out of everybody. Well, what am I gonna do? Just comment. Black free thinker, what up? I'm telling you, it is a whole other conversation. Africa may be fine. The population is going to be young and the economics are growing. Yes. But a lot of people are young and without education. So, and we can see it, for example, in Congo right now. We have a bunch of young people who are now in power. And because they don't have the education, they're coming to reunions about oil, about the metrics, and they don't know sometimes they don't know what they're talking about, or sometimes they don't know how you lead people. And those things, yeah, I mean, on va laisser les if, parce qu'avec if, on mettrait pareil en bouteille. But me, president, listen, school mandatory. I don't care. School free and mandatory. Everybody. Nobody listen, until you are 17 or 18 and you have your diploma, you can't be on the streets. I don't care. Oh, I have to feed I don't care. School. Everybody. Not for me, but for the next two generations. That's how you have to think about it. But most people, when they come to power, they're like, oh, it's my turn. And the money frees their brain very hard and very smart, very fast, because like money will corrupt you, especially large amounts of money. Trust me. I've seen it happen over and over again. One of the infrastructure is developed in Africa. Then you'll see the shift away from the West. Once. Yeah, that is true as well. What up, man? Have you spoken about the rise of the Afrobeat wave in the States? No, because that's not the conversation today, but it is. I've seen it happen. Okay, so thank you so much. I just think a little bit. It's not, you know. I live in the midst of the madness, so I greet you. Oh my God. Bless you. Bless you. I hope you took note of all my quotables and you can just give them to me so I can, we have to add them to the automatic quotes. Yeah. Anyway, we're 2 hours in. I have to go to sleep. It is 2:25 here in Portugal. The show was brought to you by shadaware.com, and I want to say thank you to our stream royalty, Sirène des Îles. I want to acknowledge all the new subscribers and everybody that was there tonight. If you enjoyed that show, you enjoyed the conversation, put me a unicorn or a rainbow in the chat, and I'm gonna leave you with I'm just gonna let that playlist play and play you the next song. I hope you enjoyed that show, and I hope to see you Sunday. And Sunday, I think I will have a guest, and it's interesting because he's gonna be somebody that will talk to us about. She's gonna talk to us about making sure that your business is in place. She's a coach, life coach, business coach. So hopefully I will have her next week. It's not sure yet, but yeah, listen, if you enjoy this content, give me some rainbows in the chat, and if you have a subject you want to talk about next episode Sunday, listen, or in the next few episodes, just leave it in the comment. All right, peace, Shada gang. See you dimanche.